Number 16 says to lay your pocket with the wrong side up. So I'm going to make it so I can see the shiny coating side and where I said rope pocket. Number 17 says to fold 3/4 of an inch down on the long end of the pocket, pin it, and stitch it 1/2 of an inch from the top of the pocket. Okay? So what I'm going to do is from the top, I need to fold it down so that this space here is 3/4 of an inch. To make this easier, I'm going to use my ruler and I'm going to measure down 1.5 inches because that's 3/4 of an inch times 2. So I'm going to go 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. And I'm going to connect these lines here so that I have a straight line. And now I can fold the top of the pocket down to that line so I can see where that line is. And then this should be 3/4 of an inch, which it is. Okay. Then it tells me to pin it in place. So I'm first going to crease it so it's going to want to stay where it wants to be. This is called finger pressing. And then I'm going to take my pins and I'm going to pin it going across the top. Okay, now notice the direction I'm putting my pins. This is going to be a right angle to the direction that I'm stitching so I can take them out easily, so I don't have to reach my finger under the needle. Okay, so I'm going to put 4 or 5 pins going across the top. Like this, and now I'm ready to sew. It says that I should stitch 1/2 of an inch from the top of the pocket. Okay, here's my top of my pocket. If I'm sewing on 1/2 of an inch away, that means I'm using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, I'm going to put my pocket into the machine and I'm going to line up the edge with the 4/8 inch line, okay, just like we practiced before we started the bags. Okay, now I can lower my presser foot and I will begin sewing. Remember, I need to back stitch at the beginning and the end of this line. So I'm going to go forwards a couple stitches, and then I'm going to reverse, and then I'm going to go forwards again. And all the while I'm watching right here to make sure that the edge of my fabric is at the 4/8 inch line because that's 1/2 of an inch. Okay, so I'm sewing. Notice I'm taking out the pins before I get to them. And then I'm going to back stitch at the end, back 3 or 4 stitches, back to the end, and then I'm all done. So I can take this out and then cut my threads. That is step 16.